Okay, everybody, so as promised, I'm gonna try and do a live video working on some resin. I bought some new little molds at Michael's today and some mica powder, which I've never used before, so I'm gonna play around with these little tiny molds. Oh yeah, you can see my hand there. Totally never done a live video before, so bear with me. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've already pre-mixed my resin, which is looking really bubbly right now. I use art resin, which I just think has probably the simplest as far as instructions goes, just the one-to-one mix. And I did a total of a cup, so a half of a cup of each, the hardener and the resin. And gonna just give it a second, and I'm gonna try to get some of these bubbles out, and then I'm gonna see how the heck to mix these mica powders in here. I bought a bunch of these little tiny things, and I figured I'd give them a try on these little ones before I do my coaster molds, which I'll probably do as a separate live video as I finish these. I think that's kind of a cool color, so I'm weird and I had to get all these little tiny ones. I thought the robots were super cute, and of course pineapples, because if you know me, I work in the hospitality industry and I for some reason have a weird obsession with pineapples. And then these little tiny, they make little gummy bears, and yes, these are like candy resin molds or silicone molds, but I'm gonna try them and see how the resin turns out. And of course, like little dinosaurs and things, I don't know. I have a craft show next Saturday, so I figured why not try to make some of these and see how they sell. I have no idea if people will like them. If not, I'll give them out to some of my friends. They have lots of little kids, not that they're like toys, but they're still fun and cute. Gonna give this a little heat and see if I can get some bubbles out of this resin before I mix it in some separate cups here. And I've got a little silicone mat under these so that it doesn't stick to my table. Not that the table's not full of paint and resin already. Sorry, the cord is kind of far away from me, so I can only pull the heat gun so far. Trying to get some of those micro bubbles out of there, but when I pour them separately, more of the bubbles will come out. And now I'm gonna grab some cups just to see if I can mix some of those mica powders, see what they look like, because I've never used them before. Usually I just use alcohol ink, and typically I pour my resin first and get all the bubbles out, and then I drip the alcohol ink into it. But I've really only started doing resin like a week ago, so I figured I would try and play around and see how this turns out. So I'm just going to put a little bit of resin in each of these cups, because let's be real, resin is really expensive and I don't want to waste it. But I've got some big gallons of art resin that I've got, so that's what I'm using. And again, I'm going to try to heat up some of the resin in this cup to get these bubbles out without melting the cup, hopefully. That's the other issue with the heat gun. Oh, yep, melted the cup. That's what I was thinking was going to happen, so yeah. That's what happens when you use plastic and a heat gun. This is like a really heavy-duty heat gun that I'm using, which is not making it very easy for making things with resin. Definitely don't heat up Yupo paper with the heat gun either, because it will melt your heat gun. I learned, or it will melt your Yupo paper. I learned that the hard way too. So I'm pouring it from one to the other. I mean, I guess in theory we're going to mix the mica in there anyways, so you're not going to see too much of the bubbles. And I'm standing above the camera so I can see some of your comments. So let me know if you've got any questions. Not that I'm an expert in this. I have definitely spent a lot more time in fluid art than in resin, but we're gonna practice together, and if you have any tips while I'm doing this, like, oh my god, don't mix that, then let me know, and I will try not to or stop what I'm doing. So I'm gonna pour, making a mess with this, opening these mica powders. Why do they make these things so difficult to open? Like, I have gloves on. Alright. Pour a little bit of this blue one in there because I think that would be a fun color with the little dinosaurs, which of course I just got blue in the mold, but whatever. Art is not perfect. That's what I've learned, definitely. Nobody's perfect, and I'm just gonna mix it up here. Hopefully you can see that I have a pretty bright ring light here, so once I pour it, it's kind of bright, but hopefully you can see that blue mica powder is pretty nice in there. That's what it looked like before. Alright, cool. I'm gonna try to pour that in one of these little dinosaurs, and let's see what that looks like. Oh, very slowly moving. There we go. And these are brand new. I literally just bought these molds like earlier this afternoon, so I've never used them before. Hopefully these don't stick in here. I'll have to do another video of you guys for you guys of me unmolding them because it takes too long for you to wait right now unless you want to stay on with me for like a whole 24 hours. Oop, yep, a little messy. And then I actually do have a Dremel, so if any like edge turns out hard, I will use a Dremel and like kind of sand them down a little bit. Because sometimes I do pour a little too much. Alright, well, that's cute, and we'll see how that turns out. And then, of course, that wasn't very much, so let's see. I got a little purple too. What do we think of a purple robot? Should we try one of those? And again, with opening these packages, okay, putting a little purple mica powder in there, and we're gonna give it a go. That's kind of like an iridescent color. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, if you're just catching on with me, I've never used these mica powders before, but obviously, like, I've seen a million people do resin art and do the different pieces with mica powder, so I thought I'd give it a try since I had a gift card for Michael's, and the only time you should buy things from Michael's is if you have a coupon or gift card, because it's expensive, and art is expensive, but it's fun. Alrighty. Alright, I'm gonna try and pour. I actually think I'm gonna try and pour a little bit in this little robot who got a little bit of blue in him by accident. Oops. And see how that turns out. Like I said, I'm kind of just testing these mica powders with the resin because I've never used it before, and then I'm going to do some coasters in a little bit, just because those I actually do know how to make for the most part. I mean, it's obviously just trial and error. I'm going to throw a little heat on there, try to get the bubbles out. There we go. Alright, so if you're just joining me, I'm just working on some little resin molds here, just playing around basically. I just bought these, so I'm just kind of testing. I don't really know how to use these mica powders yet, so I'm kind of just seeing what happens. I'm going to do some little pineapples hopefully soon, because I love those. I'm going to do a little of this purple. I think I have a little blue left, if we can throw a little bit more blue in there. And I've never done a live video before, so, I mean, Definitely, let me know if you've got any questions. Let's see. How well do the puzzle pieces fit once they cure? That's a great question. I've actually never used them before, so I guess we're going to see. And I'll show you later after I take them apart, probably tomorrow, hopefully. I just bought these this afternoon, so I'm kind of just playing and going to test them out and see how they look. I usually use, I've never used molds like this. I usually use like these, which are like coaster molds, or some like little smaller ones. I just put some magnets on the backs of them after they were done to try to put them on the fridge, which actually worked pretty well. So I'm gonna play and make a couple of these just because I'm testing them out, and then I'm gonna do some coaster molds so that I can actually sell them. I'm gonna use them and sell them at my craft show, and if they don't sell at my craft show this coming Saturday, then I guess I will put them on Etsy. Let's put a little bit of this in this little bear because I have enough left. I think it'll fill it up. These are little like gummy bear molds, which I guess I'll have to tell people like, you probably should watch your kid and make sure they don't try to eat it. Oh, that's a mess. Alright, well, at least it's silicone. Hopefully it'll come off of there. Let's see. I guess I'll fill up the little dinosaurs a little bit more. Oops. Come on. The one issue I have with resin is that I have like no patience. So like the length of time it takes to actually cure drives me crazy because I just want like instant gratification, which is just not how resin works, honestly. I wish. But I have, like, no patience to wait to, like, see how it cures tomorrow, and that's an issue, because I always want to take them out early, and that doesn't work very well. Alright. Throw a little bit more in there. We're just gonna see how these turn out, I guess, because I've never used these before, like I said. I've got some little dinosaurs here, and some little robots, and then I've got little gummy bear guy. These are candy, like chocolate candy molds, so we're just gonna try them out. Let's see. I'm gonna put a little bit more heat on there and see if we can get these bubbles out of here. Yep, there they go. You can see kind of how the bubbles are hitting the top of the little molds, so I want to try to get some of those little micro bubbles out as we go. Alright. Perfect. And then actually I'm going to hit the top of the resin there. You can't see it off camera. I've got the actual like cup of resin that I have that's clear that I've been mixing with. So here's my resin. It's mostly clear. There's a little bit of microbubble on top. I'm going to test out those puzzle pieces since somebody asked me a question how they fit together, which I have no idea if they actually do. I guess we're going to try it together and I'll tell you tomorrow if they fit. Let's see. Let me put this little bit of mica away. And let's see what other color we've got. This other iridescent kind of blue. And I think I'm going to mix that with the other blue I had and pour it in some puzzle pieces. Let's see. I got that little bit here, and I'm going to be slightly lazy and pour it in the same cup I already had the other one in. Lazy or not wasting cups. Those two different definitions, I guess, if you want to look at it the other way. And, alright. And I'm gonna mix some more of that really sparkly blue color mica in there. And let's see. I'm bad because I always mix too fast. Like I said, I have zero patience. And it creates lots of bubbles, so I have to be careful and stir it slowly and have more patience than me. I'm sorry. If you're like a super duper resin person and you're like having a heart attack right now watching me, I'm so sorry, but you know, I'm just playing around. This is kind of my first attempt at using some mica in resin. Alright, it's a pretty color, look at that. Very bubbly. Alright, and I'm not going to blow the bubbles out in the cup because as we learned earlier, the cup will melt, so I'm going to pour it in the puzzle pieces first. Let's see. How about we do this one? And we'll do the one next to it, just because I'm curious to see how they fit together when they cure, or if they actually do fit together, because that'd be kind of cool. I don't know what the heck you would do with them. If you have any suggestions, like what to actually do with these little things besides using them, like, decoratively, I mean, I guess you could throw a magnet on the back and, like, make them into magnets, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what it looks like. Playing with resin, which is also super freaking sticky. So, wear gloves. I learned my lesson the hard way. Let's see. Put a little bit of the heat gun in there. Ooh, super iridescent. It's a pretty color. Alright, there's that. Okay, so for the person that asked about the puzzle pieces and how they fit together, we're gonna see. And when I demold them tomorrow at some point, I will take a picture and I'll let you know. Alright, let's see. I still have a little bit of this purple left and I hate wasting, so we're gonna put it in there and really fill up that little dinosaur mold. Alright, let's see. Okay, so now we've filled up a robot. There it is. We've filled up 2 little dinosaurs and 2 little puzzle pieces and a little bear. And let's see what else should we do. I guess we can do... I really want to do one of those pineapples. I gotta find some yellow because pineapples are yellow. I mean, I guess you can make them any color you want. Oh, it's super messy. Alrighty. The bubbles drive me crazy, so I really have to try to get these bubbles out of here, but we'll see what happens. Oops, bumping the camera, sorry. And I don't know if you can actually see. I don't want to touch the screen to zoom in because my fingers are sticky, but I'm trying to get those bubbles out of the top of those puzzle pieces, which seem to be going away pretty well. And try to get them out of that dinosaur mold. Nice. They kind of start to bubble up as it's been sitting for a while, so sometimes I like to go back and try to hit it again with the heat after I've poured it for a while and see if I can get them out. Alright. Okay, so we've now poured a couple of puzzle pieces, little dinosaurs, one little robot dude, and a little gummy bear kind of thing over here. And really I'm just playing with these mica powders, so we're going to call these good because I'm over it, and see what we can do to pour those little pineapple guys. So let's see what colors we have. Let me put this. That's kind of pretty actually, but that color really turned out into be that. So a little darker once you mix it in the resin. Learning new things together today. And then I also bought these little mica powders too because I wasn't really sure what would look the best. And that white I kind of wanted to try in some coasters, and the package that I bought didn't really come with a white. It's got like a silver and a green, but not really a white one. Blue, so we're gonna try that in the pineapples, because I think that bright yellow is going to look really pretty. So I'm going to give it a test, and I'm going to actually try to do, like, what do we think? Like a green, I don't know if it'll work, because I think it'll seep down. I was going to try to do like a little green brown and then also a yellow. I might just do all yellow and kind of see how it turns out for one, and then, I don't know, keep playing with it, I guess. Let's see. Here's the yellow pigment, and then making a mess. Thank God for gloves. Oh, man. Alrighty. It's got that little top on there, which is nice, but as soon as you peel it off, everything goes flying. So I'm like trying to peel it away from the camera, even though I want you to see the colors. Look how pretty that is. It's actually a really pretty yellow color. There it is. And I'm just going to pour a little in the cup that I've got. Oop, that might be a little bit more than a little. Whoops. Alright. And I'm going to pour some resin in there with this cup and stir it up. I've got my yellow mica in there, and this is like my favorite part though. I just love watching the resin kind of tint. It's really fun to watch if you do any fluid art and you pour your paint and you use a little bit of floaterol. It's kind of interesting to see the floaterol mix, because it's kind of a white color, and when it mixes into the paint, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's something I should record because I always think it looks cool, but maybe that's just me. Oh yeah, that's a good, like, it's kind of more gold, but it says it's bright yellow, so let's see. Again, I'm bad because I always stir too much and get bubbles. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, we'll try to pour a little bit at a time and see how it turns out. Can you see I'm going to pour in these pineapples up here and kind of see how this yellow one turns out. I think I might switch places so you can see it better. Okay, gummy bear. We're moving the gummy bear over, and I'm going to move the pineapple up so you can try and see it. Whoop, losing my robot guy. Yep, that's what happens when you're not careful. Shoot. Alright, well, I guess that's why we're testing it. Okay, hopefully you can see the pineapples there. I'm going to pour some of this yellow mica in the resin in the pineapples, because I love pineapples. I work in the hotel industry, and I travel a lot for work, so I only get a chance to play every couple of weeks when I'm home. And I happen to be home right now, so why not play with some resin, since I happen to have some. I think I might have put a little bit too much mica in here, but testing for the first time, so we might as well try it out and see. Alright, pouring some of this resin in the pineapple. Yeah, see, I'm trying to figure out, because I didn't want them to be all yellow, but I'm not exactly sure how to pour that so they don't turn out all yellow. I mean, they're made for chocolate, so obviously, like, all one color, but I don't know, I might have to try to, like, mix and pour the two colors at the same time. Who the heck knows? But I love pineapples. I've got like a million different things with pineapples on them, so when I saw these I had to buy them. Maybe I'll paint them. Yeah, maybe I might paint with a little alcohol ink on top of them after they cure. That might work. If you have a suggestion, if you're a resin person, let me know, because I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. So we're just trying, and we're playing, because why not? There's some little watermelons and strawberries too, but I really only bought this because I cared about the pineapple molds, so we're going to try it. Actually, I think a little yellow gummy bear would be fun. I'll use a little bit of the extra that I have for the gummy bear. Sorry if you can't see it, it might be off camera. Let's get in there. If all you're looking at is my arm right now, I apologize, but I'm reaching to try to reach this one little mold that I have with the gummy bear. We're gonna make a yellow bear because I don't know. It looks cool. We're trying it. Yay. Okay, so we made some yellow pineapples, and then we made a couple gummy bears. Oh, you can't actually see them, kind of. Alright, there they are. The purple gummy bear, the yellow gummy bear, we've got a little robot dude that I accidentally poured some of his resin off of his head. Whoops. I guess we'll see how that turns out. And we've got some little dinosaurs and some little puzzle pieces, and I'm going to put a little heat on these pineapples to get the bubbles out of them. And keep working on that, and then a little bit later I'm going to work on some coasters. And I'm going to show you how I do some coasters with some art resin, and also with alcohol inks. That's what I use for my coasters. And they turned out pretty cool. You can look on my page. I've got a couple examples, some videos making coasters that I've been working on this week. So, of course, we don't want to waste any resin because, let's be real, resin is expensive. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to throw a little heat on there and to try to get those bubbles out. So sorry if you're seeing my heat gun in your face at the moment. Just trying to get the bubbles out of the pineapples so they don't look so funny when they cure. If you missed it, yes, I'm like ultimately obsessed with pineapples. I don't know why it's become a thing lately, but alrighty, that looks cool. We'll try that. Okay, so now I've done a couple pineapples and some dinosaurs, and I got a little robot dude over here. Some puzzle pieces where we're going to test and see if they actually fit together when they're done, because I don't know, I've never used it before, and a couple of gummy bears. And if you missed it earlier, I just bought a bunch of these today at Michael's, actually, and just bought some of these mica powders, so we're testing some mica powder in these little tiny molds, because I didn't really want to waste my coaster molds with the mica, since I didn't really know exactly what the heck I was doing with them. So we're learning together, because I definitely didn't mix, you can still kind of see that powder in there, so I definitely didn't mix that mica as well as I would have liked to, but, you know, we'll test it out and see how it goes. I'm kind of over that yellow color, though. It's like, meh, it's okay. It's a little flaky. I don't think I mixed it well enough, but we'll see. I'll have to do another video unmolding them tomorrow, because like I said, I have no patience, and if it was up to me, I would, like, unmold them right now, but I don't think that would work very well, unfortunately. Alrighty, so I'm gonna call it a day with the mica, because I only have so much patience to do these little tiny ones. They drive me nuts. I mean, they're cute, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing with them. So we're gonna finish with these, and I'm gonna move them over out of the way so that you can see. I'm gonna do some coaster molds. So it's a little dirty, but I'm gonna do some coasters so that you can actually take a look and see how I do those with alcohol inks. I've been testing some new little methods with my alcohol ink coaster molds. So I just got these in the mail, and I actually sold some at a craft show this past Saturday, or gosh, yesterday. Where did the weekend go? So I kind of want to make some more coasters, because I've got a show this coming Saturday as well, so I kind of thought it'd be fun to do something different. I'm going to step off camera for a second, because I'm going to move these little molds out of the way so I can do some coasters. And I guess we will see how they turn out tomorrow. I'll say goodbye to my little puzzle pieces. They're kind of cute. Alright, and I'm going to attempt to put everything in an area where it's flat, so that they actually turn out okay, but I guess we'll see how it goes, because I'm a really messy person when it comes to artwork, if you can't tell by my table, and I don't have very much space in my little studio here, and I can see the camera above me, or the screen is above my hand there, so if you have any questions about what the heck I'm doing, please feel free to ask. I can see it. And I've been checking back a couple of times, so thank you to everybody that's watching so far. I'm here in Michigan, freezing my butt off. It's cold out here, but I'm in the basement working on these little molds. Oop, trying not to pour the resin out of the molds as I put them out to dry. Okay. So we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so now we've moved the, and this is like a little silicone pad that I bought, because clearly I didn't want to get the table dirty. I don't know why I cared, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to do these little coaster molds. And that's actually really what I came down here to work on, but I started getting distracted. Try to get the bit out of there. Trying to keep them clean, because obviously that's going to be the front of the coaster. So that's important that it's clean and not dusty. Alrighty, and now, this is the trickiest part I find, is actually pouring these freaking coasters and making them even. I have a really hard time with this. I have to like get low at the table to actually see them. Let's see. Because I want them to be even, because obviously, like, if there's all 4 of them on one table and people are drinking a drink, I would like them to be even all together and not overfill, which I think I just did. It always comes out faster than I think it's going to. And if you can see me right now, I apologize, because I literally have an ugly t-shirt full of paint on. A little bit of dust in there. And what I call my paint pants, which are literally just like covered in paint, because when I paint canvases, I literally just splatter paint at them, which is so messy, but one of my favorite things to do. Let's see if I can get that one filled up, otherwise I'm out of resin and I need to mix some more. No, I think we'll be okay. It's pretty close. And see, I can already see, because this little silicone thing, that they're not sitting perfectly even, so I might have to take them off this little silicone mold. Let's see if I can get the rest of the resin out of there. Look at that. See, you have to really scrape it, because let's be real, like a freaking gallon of this stuff's like 130 bucks, which art resin, I love you, but it's expensive, and I'm not made of money. My hobby is becoming very expensive. Let's see. Look at all that. See? Gotta scrape it. And also when you're mixing, you really have to scrape the sides, because you wouldn't believe how much is like actually stuck in there to get that. Alright. Okay. I'm concerned about this one, because I can see that it looks like it's on an angle. So I kind of want to put them all next to each other and make sure that they're pretty even, which now they look like they are. Okay. Oop, stuck my finger in there. And that's why I wear gloves. Okay, let's see. So I just poured resin into all these coaster molds that I've got. And now I'm going to put some heat on them from the heat gun, because I want to try to get as many bubbles out as I can before I start doing the alcohol ink in them. Now, usually I pour it in layers and try to get the bubbles out, but that resin's been sitting for a bit, so most of the bubbles were gone already. Let's see. Let me know if you've got any questions while I'm working on these. I know I've said it already, but I can see the camera. It's above it's a little under my face here, so hopefully you can hear me. I don't even know if you can hear me, but we're just gonna go with it, since this is the first live I've ever done. People asked for live video, so there we go. Alrighty, I would call most of those bubbles out of there. And now, as you can see, my ridiculous amount of alcohol inks. Actually, there are people that have way more alcohol ink than that, but the most important color, white, which I didn't really know. I had to do some research that this white one kind of pushes the paint down, so that white ink is probably the most important color. And then I really have like a weird obsession with blues right now, so I'm about to do some blue posters, because I think they look really cool. This denim alcohol ink color is really nice. And those are the Tim Holtz alcohol inks, and they sell them at Michael's. But then there's these other ones from the Jacquard, the Pinata inks. This gold is like really beautiful. I haven't found any other gold that looks as pretty as that. I've actually got like a giant bottle of it over there, but I'm going to finish up this little bottle first. Let's see, what other color? Oh, the mermaid one. really pretty. They're messy because obviously I do them with gloves on, but messy. That's like more of a greenish-y blue, but we're gonna just play with it and see how it turns out. I kind of want to throw this one in here, this little oregano one. I did a little test on Yupo paper last night just to see how they looked. Let's see. I'm kind of trying to give it a little depth. I'm gonna put a little of this green in there too. Okay, so I think I've got my colors that I want to use, and obviously I'm giving it a little bit because I want some of those bubbles to finish popping. And art resin has like 45 minutes or so of working time, so this hasn't been 45 minutes, so I've got some time. And then I'm a little bit weird and OCD, so I like things to be consistent, so I'm going to go straight across and do them kind of the same, but not 100%, which conflicts with my need to make everything the same, but, you know, we'll go with it. Alright. This is like my favorite part. It's so mellow. Just watch them spread. I don't know why. I just find it really interesting. Especially because it kind of separates the pigment a little bit, and like the denim one is just such a pretty color. It's just like a greenish blue, and it's really nice. This one looks a little full, and I'm hoping it's not going to spread over the mold. I think this is the one I overfilled a little bit. So I think I mentioned earlier, but if it overfills, I have a Dremel, and I just use a Dremel to kind of shave them down. Alright, and then I'm going to put a little bit of this one in here. Let's see. Oop. Oh, so many drips. Okay. And, I mean, at the end of the day, like, this is abstract art. There's a reason I do abstract art, because I can't do anything that looks like anything, and I like to just be creative and do my own thing. So if I call it abstract, then I can just do whatever the heck I want. And usually people like it, but we'll see. Oop. Yep. Throw a little bit in here. It's funny, because when I usually paint, I'm, like, by myself in a basement, so I'm not used to, like, talking out loud the whole time while I'm painting. Hopefully I'm not talking too much. Please tell me if I am, because I'll stop and I'll just keep painting. You can watch. Oops, a little bit of extra drippage. It's alright. Okay, I just love how they all blend together. It looks super cool. Hopefully you can see it. Let's see if the camera will focus down here. Try not to touch the camera because I'm covered in resin. Alright, and then I have like just an obsession with this gold, and I keep telling myself I'm not going to use it, and then I use it anyways, and I can't help it. It just looks so pretty. And it kind of just gives like a little dimension to everything. Just don't use too much because it really like seeps and it kind of blends all like, it'll sink in. I tried to put it like on a bowl once and it all just like kind of seeped together to the middle of the bowl, which kind of looked funny. So I try not to like overdo it, but look how pretty that looks. Ooh, I love that gold. It looks so pretty. Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of heat to spread it out so you can kind of see. There we go. Okay, so put a little bit of heat in there. Now, this is the cool part, is this white. It kind of like seeps through and like pulls the ink down with it, so it gives it this really interesting effect when you flip them over. They look kind of flowery. A lot of people call them like peachy-ish, which I don't know, I think they're flowery looking, but you know, we'll see. I think it like sinks through because the white is like the heaviest paint. It's alcohol ink, but I mean it looks like paint. So this is the white I just used. Yes, it's covered in ink from my fingers, but this stuff works really well. And you can kind of see it's kind of blending its way through the colors I painted already. And then I'm gonna blow some more from the heat gun on there, and it'll spread, which is cool. It kind of gives it this lacing effect, which I just love. Look at that. How pretty is that? Ooh, pretty. Okay. See, this is what happens when you use so much of that gold. It really, like, spreads and fills up the whole thing, which is not my, like, favorite. I want you to be able to see the colors, so that's why I literally put 2 drops of gold in each of these, and it just takes up the whole coaster. So, I have to be careful with how much of that you use. Alright. So there it is. Those are some coasters that I just finished, and then obviously they take like 24 hours to cure at least before I'll take them out of the mold, and then after I take them out of the mold, it's like 72 hours to like finish curing. And you know, I can kind of see like from the way I poured them, like this one's a little fuller than that one, which is not my favorite, but I'm still testing. I'm learning. This is like literally the 4th set of coasters I ever made, so bear with me. I kind of want to throw a little bit more white in because I feel like it really sunk. So I'm going to throw a little bit more white in here. Just feel like it looks pretty with a lot of the... I like to put a lot of the white, but I don't want so much that you really can't see the other colors. Like, it pulls those colors down a lot, and I really want you to be able to see some of it through. Alright, so... Oop, kicked the camera. Sorry. You can see I just finished. I put a little bit more of the white in, and I'm kind of just going to let it seep in. You can see how it, like... See how it's, like, sinking in through there? It's super cool. You can kind of see it sucking through the color, which is really interesting. And I'm kind of just going to leave them that way because I want to see how it turns out. Just continue, like, testing all these different methods. I've never really used... I've never used a lot of these products before. I mostly do fluid artwork and abstract painting, but, and I do a lot of the alcohol ink on Yupo, but resin is a new thing for me, so I'm kind of trying this out. Feel free to go on my page. Let me know what you thought of this live video. This is the first time I've ever done a live, so I definitely appreciate your feedback. I'm gonna let you know, and I'll unmold those little tiny bears and pineapples I made earlier. So you can see, I'll unmold those tomorrow, and then I'll unmold these later too. Later tomorrow, sorry. 24 hours, you have to be patient. Even though I'm so not patient. It's like the hardest thing with resin. But, alright, so I'm going to end this live video now, but I appreciate everybody that's been watching. And if you liked it and you can give me some feedback, I'll try to do some more. I just got this awesome ring light so people can actually see what the heck I'm doing, because I am working in a basement in, like, freezing cold Michigan. So, you know, have to try to make work with what I've got. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and I will see you later.